Yeah. We're so sorry. Seems like we're having a technical issue with the maybe at the end of the webinar. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everyone. Salam Ramadan and selamat berpuasa to all our Muslim participants today. Welcome to CRIM Webinar Series 2023. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us. My name is Intan Diana and I'll be your MC for today's webinar. CRIM Webinar Series 2023 is a new program organized by CRIM and it is a part of our efforts to initiate conversation on issues, challenges, opportunities and initiatives for the construction industry and beyond. And the theme for this month's webinar is Quality, Safety and Health Management System in Construction Industry. And today we'll be talking about the amendment to OSHA 1994 and the proposed OSHCIM regulations. So before we begin, just a little housekeeping. If you have any questions during the presentations, please drop your questions into the chat box and our moderator will bring them up during the Q&A session at the end of the presentations. Okay, now without further ado, I would like to invite our moderator for today. He is Technologist Dr. Haji Muhammad Khairuddin Ghani. He is a manager in charge on construction industry consultancy at Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, CRIM. He has been working with CRIM for over 15 years since 2007, and since then he has been involved in many research and consultancy projects locally and internationally. He graduated PhD in 2019 from University of Malaya, and he holds a master degree, bachelor degree, and diploma in civil engineering. His research interests focus on sustainability, resilient construction, project management, and facilities management. So I'd like to invite our moderator, Dr. Khairuddin.
All right. Thank you, Technologist Intan Diana. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah, Dr. Fairuz. All right. Okay. For be with us for this morning session webinar on CRIM Series 2023. All right. So yesterday we had a first session on the contractors qualities management system, but now the session on looking into the occupational safety and health with regard to OSHCIM regulation, right? So we have fortunate to have two experts here today to discuss and deliberate on the topics, very interesting topic that looks into the safety and health. Dr. Engineer Technologist Dr. Muhammad Fairuz Abdul Rahman from DOSH, right? From Department of Safety and Health HQ, headquarters from Putrajaya. Right, and also Dr. Kamarizan Kidam from UTM. So those two speakers are very prominent, very famous in terms of development of OSHCIM. I was told, right? So before we proceed with the presentation by Engineer Technologist Dr. Fairuz, so allow me to read a bit brief breakdown of the Dr. Fairuz. Dr. Fairuz is currently with the Construction Safety Division, Department of Occupational Safety and Health, DOSH, headquarters in Putrajaya. He has worked with DOSH since 2003, so that means Doctor has a long experience history with the DOSH. I believe he was one of the committee members of OSHA Amendment to 2022 and also the resource person for OSHIM. So I think a very right time for us to hear from the Dr. Fairuz, the development, the history of the guidelines of OSHIMs. So I believe Dr. Fairuz also quite familiar with CRIM and also CIDB with regard to OSHIM regulation, because the OSHIM are very important aspect in terms of safety and health, which is a guide for the client, designer, and also the contractors how to manage safety and health in the construction industry, particularly. So I believe Dr. Fairuz will share with us the very good topic OSHIM and also its impacts to the construction industry, especially to the organization. So with that note, I would like to pass over to Dr. Fairuz to give his presentation. All right, Dr. Fairuz, is it okay? Are you okay?
Thank you, Dr. Khairuddin.
Right, thank you.
Have you seen my script?
Not yet, Doctor.
Not yet.
Okay.
Is it now?
It's
okay.
Look clear. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much,
It's
Dr.
clear now.
Khairuddin.
Right.
Thank you for that brief introduction on me. Yes. We have been working on OSHIM since 2016. When we first look around what went wrong in the construction industry and what was lacking, and we come across this CDM, and DOSH has made an effort for many years trying to introduce CDM regulation in Malaysia, but we have several obstacles and problem issues with the laws. That's why we introduced the guideline first in 2017. Salah satu perkara yang penting berkaitan OSHIM ni is the responsibility. The current regulation, which is a BOEX regulation, Building, Operation and Works of Engineering Construction Safety, which we have introduced in 1986. One of its lacking is that the duties is only on the contractor to ensure safety and health in the construction site, whereas in OSHIM it put responsibility not only to the contractors, but also to the client, who is the owner of the projects, and also the designers who involved in the construction designs and planning during the pre-construction phase.
Dr. Fairuz, there is no slide appear. Can you show again?
Okay.
The slides. Yeah.
Sorry. Is it okay now?
Okay. It's look clear.
Okay.
Right.
So OSHIM is in fact place responsibility to everyone who involved in the construction process, starting from the client, the owner of the project, up to the contractors lah. And salah satu lagi perkara penting dalam OSHIM is that it tries to integrate untuk sepadukan the construction management tu ke dalam OSH management, integrate OSH management ke dalam construction management. Jadi ini ada dua perkara penting yang kita boleh kaitkanlah dengan OSHIM ni. Pertama adalah dari segi duty holders. Kalau tak ada duty holders kepada semua project teams tu, then the duty holders yang ada sekarang ni hanyalah kepada contractors. And the other one is the integration of OSH management into the project management itself. So, kenapa designer kita bagi duty dalam OSHCIM ni, salah satu sebabnya adalah banyak kajian yang telah dilaporkan berkaitan dengan berkaitan antara design dan juga construction. Design ni memang akan beri kesan lah kepada construction. Contohnya kalau designer ataupun client tu decided to go for IBS, then the construction process pun akan berubah, akan disesuaikan dengan cara ataupun method design yang dipilih berkaitan dengan projek tu lah. Similarly, kalau projek tu the client decided untuk guna self climbing working platform kan, yang provide protection screen kepada construction workers yang working at height, dia akan memberi kesan yang besar lah kepada risiko yang akan terdedah kepada pekerja pembinaan. Jadi design and planning ni ada kesan yang besar kepada construction process yang akan berlaku di construction site, yang mana kebanyakan risiko ni ditanggung oleh pekerja-pekerja di construction lah kan. Designers and client ni kadang-kadang saja pergi ke construction site, and risiko ni kebanyakannya all the time is exposed to the workers yang jalankan kerja di tempat bina lah. That's why design ni kebanyakan tadi pun in the US, in the UK kan, contohnya dalam yang sebelah kiri kanan kita ni adalah kajian-kajian yang dibuat pada masa lampau lah, yang menunjukkan bahawa ada pertalian, ada kesan planning dan juga design yang dibuat semasa pre-construction phase tu kepada kemalangan yang berlaku di tapak bina. Nah, ada satu paper yang baru diterbitkan pada tahun ni yang mengkaji semula semua study-studies yang telah dibuat, kajian-kajian yang telah dibuat pada masa lampau. Untuk paper ni dia fokus from 2008 to 2020. And dia ada laporkan there are at least 16 studies yang telah dibuat menunjukkan pertalian antara design dengan OSH accident di construction site lah. Jadi ada 3 study penting yang saya nyatakan di sini. Pertama di US lah. Di US ni lebih latest lah daripada di Europe. Europe ni memang dia dah establish lama dah. That's why kita lihat OSHCIM prinsip atau konsep ni pertama kali diperkenalkan di dunia ni di Europe lah, iaitu oleh European Council, European Parliament pada masa tu in 1992. In 1992 ni dia perkenalkan Temporary and Mobile Construction Site Directive. Inilah basic kepada semua peraturan yang ada di dunia ni berkaitan dengan duty yang diletak kepada designer dan juga klien dalam OSH legislation. Jadi pertama kali diperkenalkan di European Council, and then di UK dia bila European Council ni dah pass in the parliament, their parliament, semua European countries is obliged, is forced to enforce this regulation into their own countries. Ni macam kalau kita lihat, kalau perjanjian undang-undang ataupun perjanjian ekonomi yang kita sign di mana-mana pun, bila negara kita sign ataupun conform je dengan any convention, international convention pun, nanti kita akan diarahkan untuk review regulation akta kita supaya inline dengan convention ataupun apa-apa yang kita sign lah. Similarly di UK dia perkenalkan CDM regulation ni disebabkan oleh Temporary Mobile Construction Site Directive in 1992 lah. So in UK dia perkenalkan in 1994. Memang dah lama lah, sama usia dengan OSHA kita lah sebenarnya kan. Dia memang lama lah, dia dah perkenalkan almost 30 years lah kan. 30 years. 94, 20 years lah. Okay lah. And di Australia lebih tinggi sikit, 63% lah. Tapi apa yang saya nak sampaikan di sini memang ada pertalian antara keputusan ataupun tindakan yang designer dan klien buat semasa fasa design dan planning tu kepada kemalangan yang berlaku di tapak bina, kan. Walaupun kemalangan tu tidak berlaku kepada klien ataupun designers tu, tapi kemalangan tu ditanggung ataupun dirasai oleh pekerja-pekerja pembinaan. And then kalau kita lihat dengan lebih detail lagi lah, ini mungkin kita boleh try model ni di Malaysia. Saya tak pasti ada atau tidak universiti yang dah buat kajian ni di Malaysia, iaitu sama ada model yang diperkenalkan di UK pada tahun 2006 ni applies to Malaysia punya situation ataupun conditions lah, iaitu kemalangan di tapak bina ni. Di tapak bina ni berlaku disebabkan oleh 4 perkara ni, workplace, equipment, materials and work team. And kalau kita investigate any construction accident, kita akan dapat kaitkan antara salah satu ataupun salah 2 daripada 4 perkara ni lah. Mesti ada 4 perkara ni dalam setiap kemalangan ataupun berapa daripada 4 ni lah. Tapi apa yang penting di sini adalah apa yang berlaku di tapak bina ni boleh dikaitkan, boleh di trace back to the client requirement, to the permanent work design, construction process, to the project management, to the safety culture of the project team, economic climate, and also the construction education lah. Jadi memang kita boleh nampaklah di sini betapa pentingnya klien untuk mainkan peranan dia, and then the designers untuk mainkan peranan dia. Sebab client requirement ni akan memberi kesan kepada permanent work design yang dibuat oleh consultant, M&E, CNS ataupun architects, and then the project team, project management team yang akan manage the whole project. Then the construction accident models ni kita boleh lihat juga dia telah divalidate oleh banyak study lain lah di dalam dunia ni lah. Jadi satu contoh yang baik lah macam mana kita nak dapatkan buy-in OSHCIM dalam kalangan klien dan juga designers, especially architects and engineers di Malaysia, termasuk juga QNS lah, quantity surveyor. Jadi that's why OSHCIM ni penting lah untuk kita tackle isu keselamatan dan kesihatan di tapak bina lah. Okay. Kemudian kita boleh lihat juga kesan. Apakah kesan awal yang kita boleh lihat selepas beberapa tahun, hampir 6 tahun kita perkenalkan garis panduan OSHCIM ni daripada tahun 2017 sehingga sekarang. Tapi data yang saya dapat ni pun tidaklah terkini lah, tetapi inilah data yang terkini yang rasmi yang kita OSHA dah keluarkan lah, iaitu pada tahun 2021. Tahun 2022 belum lagi ada data rasmi daripada JKP berkaitan dengan data kemalangan di industri lah. Kita boleh lihat sekarang sebelum OSHCIM dikuatkuasakan, kebanyakan investigation ataupun inspection yang OSHA buat fokus kepada di tapak bina. Jadi SHO, Triple S, project manager, dia akan merasai kesan yang langsung lah daripada pemeriksaan tu. Sama ada kita keluarkan notis, NOP, NOI kepada tapak bina. Tapi apabila OSHCIM ni dikuatkuasakan, enforcement yang OSHA boleh lakukan, dia akan melibatkan juga pasukan projek yang lain seperti consultant dan klien. Jadi salah satu perkara yang kita akan perkenalkan nanti, notification of construction site, kita akan pindahkan daripada contractors, the main contractor sekarang kepada klien. So apabila kita kuatkuasakan OSHCIM nanti, klien yang akan perlu notify projek dia. Bukannya kontraktor lagi pada masa sekarang lah. Kita akan pindah tanggungjawab tu kepada klien to notify. Sebab kita boleh lihat lah, kontraktor ni can be easily fired ataupun dibuang lah kan. Tapi klien ni jarang-jarang bertukar lah. Kontraktor kalau tak perform, klien akan sack dia, buang dia, ganti dengan yang lain. Tapi klien ni will always be the same klien lah untuk projek tu. Kemudian tanggungjawab, dari segi tanggungjawab seperti saya sebut tadi, tanggungjawab sekarang ni kalau kita tengok prosecution yang OSHA lakukan selepas kemalangan biasanya kepada contractors lah kan. Mungkin ada dua lah kes yang mana kita pernah prosecute engineers, designer pada masa yang lalu, tapi kebanyakannya kita akan prosecute contractors. Tapi pada masa akan datang apabila OSHCIM ni dikuatkuasakan, kita akan lihat penguatkuasaan yang OSHA lakukan akan juga meliputi tanggungjawab klien dan juga designers dalam setiap projek yang mereka sertai lah. Kemudian dari segi pengurusan risiko, ini satu perkara besar lah yang kita akan lihat, iaitu pengurusan risiko sekarang hanya tertumpu kepada management of risk during in the construction site kan, dari segi material loading, penggunaan tower crane, loading unloading oleh lori ataupun working at height. Semua risiko-risiko tu tertumpu kepada risiko semasa bekerja during construction. Tapi bila OSHCIM ni kita akan we talk about the risk for the whole project, not only during construction tetapi also during maintenance ataupun in future project lah. Contohnya kalau ada nak buat renovation ataupun extension of building ke, then akan perlu diambil kira risiko the whole project semasa OSHCIM ini dikuatkuasakan lah. Not only during construction tetapi during any other future project, termasuklah maintenance, cleaning atau apa-apa kerja lain lah. Okay. So the pengurusan projek ni akan lebih luas. Kita boleh lihat juga dalam pindaan OSHA 2022 dah ada dah duty principle kan. Duty principle ni adalah any person yang make contract dengan any contractors untuk carry out kerja yang dilaksanakan lah. Okay, akan ada duty principle. So salah satu duty principle yang perkenalkan ni dalam 18A itu adalah tanggungjawab dia yang kita mirrorkan dengan section 15 untuk employer lah. Kan semua dah tahulah. Tapi ada satu lagi 18B. 18B ni adalah berkaitan tanggungjawab prinsipal untuk laksanakan risk assessment. Di sinilah tanggungjawab prinsipal ni as a client, owner of the project yang melantik kontraktor ataupun designers boleh dikaitkan dengan tanggungjawab untuk prinsipal memastikan dia jalankan risk assessment. Pada masa yang sama dia kena pastikan semua project team dia, designers, consultant, contractors juga jalankan risk assessment untuk pastikan undertaking yang dia buat berkaitan dengan pekerjaan dia ni selamat kepada semua orang. Kan? Bukan hanya terhad kepada pekerja tetapi juga kepada pekerja lain yang terlibat dan juga orang lain. Jadi kita dah create duty yang lain untuk support pelaksanaan OSHCIM ni dalam pindaan OSHA kita. So principle. Kemudian perkara lain lagi yang kita boleh lihat perubahan yang mungkin akan berlaku adalah pada masa sekarang KKP ni hanya diambil kira semasa fasa pembinaan dan pasca pembinaan. During the construction and post construction saja. Tapi apabila ada OSHCIM nanti seperti saya sebut tadi, dia akan beri tanggungjawab kepada klien dan juga designers yang terlibat semasa fasa pre-construction. So the OSH will be tackled sejak the pre-construction phase lagi. And then dia akan carry through to the construction and post-construction phases lah. So dia akan bagi duty kepada semua yang terlibat dalam satu projek pembinaan tu lah. Kemudian kita akan lihat lah, ini satu kesan yang paling penting adalah kadar pekerja maut sebelum OSHCIM. Ini sebelum OSHCIM ni tahun 2017. Kita boleh lihat dia meningkat lah pada masa tu. Ni bukan kita saja-saja je kan. Dia memang berlaku pada masa tu. Sebenarnya bila kita start the work in 2016 ni kita dah lihat bila construction fatality ni start menurun pada tahun 2012, 6.27. 6.27 ni maksudnya apa? Lebih kurang 7 orang pekerja maut bagi setiap 100,000 pekerja di tapak pembinaan. Mana ada orang 6.27 kan? So kita bundarkan kepada integer yang paling besar lah. So kalau macam 6.75 ni also close to 7 lah. Kalau 7.26 ni kita boleh anggap dia 8. Workers died for every 100,000. So kita boleh lihat peningkatan, trend peningkatan kadar kemalangan maut di tapak bina di negara kita meningkat sejak tahun 2012. That's why bila kita start working on OSHCIM tu, kita lihat dia continue to rise sampailah 2017. Dan 2017 ni memang dia peak lah. Tapi dia peak ni pun disebabkan oleh satu accident yang major accident yang berlaku di Tanjung Bungah kan. Mungkin semua ingat lah di Tanjung Bungah ni memang saya akan ingat insyaAllah sampai saya matilah. Dia satu kes yang landslide tu yang melibatkan kematian 11 orang pekerja kan. 11 orang pekerja ni 10 orang pekerja asing, 1 orang pekerja tempatan, supervisor dia. Jadi 11 orang pekerja. That's why kita boleh lihat trend kemalangan maut ni meningkat mendadaklah pada tahun 2017 ni. Tapi pada tahun 2018 selepas kita introduce OSHCIM dan kita buat promotion, increase awareness dalam kalangan construction project team to the client, to the consultant dan semua, dan kita boleh lihat peningkat penurunan kadar kemalangan maut di tapak bina lah, dan dia continue to fell down sehingga 2 years ago lah. Tapi kita boleh lihat lah 2 tahun ni sebenarnya adalah bonus lah kan. Mungkin Allah Ta'ala bagi bonus untuk kita ni bila kita kurang bekerja dan kurang lah yang maut kan. Jadi tapi the trend continue even after the 2018 lah. So hopefully we can further bring down this fatality rate yang tak elok lah kan. So kita boleh reduce number of workers died while working at our site in Malaysia lah. And then kita boleh lihat negara-negara lain di dunia yang ada regulation yang similar dengan OSHCIM konsep ni. Pertama di UK lah. UK ni memang jadi benchmark kepada semua countries. Even when the Singapore decided untuk ada similar to OSHCIM regulation in their countries, dia hantar satu tim ke UK untuk buat study pada tahun tu lah. Tapi approach di UK ni dia dah amalkan OSHCIM ataupun CDM regulation, Construction Design and Management Regulation ataupun kita panggil CDM regulation lah. In UK since 1994, dan kita boleh lihat lah kadar kematian kerja pembinaan di UK ni close to 2 orang per every 100,000 workers, construction workers in the UK. And in the Singapore pula kita boleh lihat also, maybe kita boleh kata ni 3 lah, 3 fatality of construction workers died while working in the Singapore's punya construction site in 2020. And in Australia ni sama macam Singapore, lebih kurang 3. Tetapi kalau lihat dia punya performance ni lebih baik lah sebenarnya kalau kita nak bandingkan. Nanti saya akan terangkan. Untuk Malaysia, okay, 6.3 and 2 sama macam tadi. Ni the minimum yang kita pernah dapat lah. And then 2 years ago kita reach balik the minimum point yang kita reach almost to 10 years ago kan. More than in 10 years time kita reach back the lowest point yang kita pernah capai in 2012 tu lah. Ni dia macam bell curve pula kan, konon-kononnya lah. Kemudian kita boleh lihat in the US, they are not as good as us lah. Sebenarnya they are also having the same problem, whereby they have many migrant workers who work in the construction site. There are many Mexican ataupun Hispanic workers from the Southern American punya continent tu yang datang bekerja. Sama juga di Malaysia, di US ni pun pekerja lokal dia, the Americans ni dia macam reluctant lah untuk kerja di tapak bina lah, sama macam Malaysia. Because it is perceived as dangerous, dirty and all that lah kan. So they are also having same problem, whereby dia punya fatality rate pun even higher than us lah, 9.7 in 2019. Tapi kita boleh lihat lah dalam semua countries yang ada ni, in the Singapore ni sama macam UK, dia dah ada regulation yang ambil konsep yang sama, prinsip yang sama macam CDM regulation, macam OSHCIM, iaitu dipanggil DFS, Design for Safety Regulation. Dia sama juga. Jadi dia punya kesan tu kita boleh lihat lah kan. Kesan dia lebih kurang sama. Di Australia pula, dia tidak perkenalkan regulation tetapi dia masukkan prinsip OSHCIM ni, tanggungjawab designer dan juga klien ni dalam main act dia. Dalam main act dia in section 28. Section 28 akta macam OSHA lah. Saya boleh kata OSHA di Australia ni, Aussie ni, dia ada similar requirement duty macam CDM regulation. Jadi dia approach yang berbeza dengan UK dan Singapura. Tetapi kesan dia sama lah. Kesan dia sama. Tapi di US ni dia masih lagi pematuhan untuk OSHCIM di US ni. Tapi dia tak panggil OSHCIM lah. Dia panggil Design Prevention Through Design. Di US ni panggil Prevention Through Design, PTD. Dia masih lagi voluntary basis. Voluntary. Dia belum mandatory lagi. So kita tahu US ni dia ada 50 states kan. Negeri dia ada banyak lah, 50 states. So setiap state ni dia ada their own power lah untuk sama ada nak enforce ataupun tidak. So dia masih lagi bentuk voluntary, sukarela. Macam Malaysia lah, sama macam Malaysia. Tapi di UK, Singapore dan Australia ni dah ada mandatory requirement dalam sama ada akta ataupun peraturan untuk menguatkuasakan OSHCIM konsep di negara masing-masing lah. Sama juga di Malaysia ni, kita pada masa sekarang masih lagi bersifat voluntary sebab dia masih lagi guideline. That's why kita nak perkemaskan lagi dengan perkenalkan OSHCIM regulation lah nanti yang akan revoke BOWAX regulation, akan replace BOWAX regulation. Jadi OSHCIM regulation ni ataupun kita akan panggil Construction Work Design and Management Regulation. Dalam draft kita panggil Construction Work Design and Management Regulation untuk repeal ataupun remove, replace BOWAX regulation yang kita ada pada sejak tahun 2016 tu lah, 1986 tu lah. So inilah perancangan kita pada masa akan datang yang kita akan laksanakan, iaitu OSHCIM prinsip ni kita akan jadikan main element dalam Construction Work Design and Management Regulation in Malaysia, yang kita ambil sama macam yang ada di UK lah. So satu lagi perkara penting yang kita boleh lihat lah dalam 5 negara ni, kita lihat construction ni not only in Malaysia lah, even in the UK pun kan, yang terbaik sekali dalam dunia ni pun, the construction contribute lebih kurang 3 ataupun 2 hingga 4 kali ganda berbanding dengan industry average kan. Contohnya macam di UK ni, kalau kita bahagikan 1.84 bahagi 0.43, kita akan dapat lebih kurang 4 times kan, 4 times. In Malaysia pun lebih kurang 3 times lah kan, 3 times of the industry average, and di Singapura pun lebih kurang sama, and US pun lebih kurang sama. Cuma yang rendah dia Australia lah, lebih kurang twice as high as the industry average. So itu salah satu perkara penting yang kita boleh lihat juga lah dalam kelima-lima negara ni, kita punya construction industry ni contribute the highest to the fatality punya rate dalam berbanding dengan industri yang lain lah. So impact yang penting yang saya nak highlightkan di sini apabila kita kuasakan OSHCIM ataupun kita perkenalkan OSHCIM yang pada masa sekarang berbentuk sukarela, dan insyaAllah pada masa akan datang kita akan make it mandatory, adalah dari segi accident reduction yang kita boleh lihat dalam masa 4 tahun kebelakangan ni lah. Kemudian accident ni sebenarnya ada banyak kajian juga yang dibuat. Pertamanya adalah iceberg ni, accident iceberg. Ini satu perkara penting yang kita boleh ambil iktibar lah, iaitu it has been estimated lah in many kajian that for every RM1 yang you lost for any accident, in an accident, you actually akan kehilangan from 8 to 36 ringgit daripada kos yang kita tak boleh lihat lah. So apa yang kita nampak kesan accident ni sebenarnya adalah on the surface saja, which is kalau dalam ni kita ratio kan 1/8 to 36 kan. The minimum is 8. Maksudnya kalau kita rugi ni for accident, kalau kita rugi RM1, dia can go as high as RM8 lah kan. Ni lagi mahal daripada menu rahmah ni kan. Tapi boleh juga pergi up to ringgit Malaysia 36 kan. Ini kajian yang dibuat lah. And then kita boleh lihat on the surface tu adalah insured cost yang kita boleh dapat balik. Mungkin tak dapat keseluruhan tapi kita boleh claim from the insurance punya companies kalau kita ambil insurance lah. Tapi there are many other uninsured cost yang kita perlu pertimbangkan kalau kita nak kemalangan berlaku di tempat kerja kita ataupun di tapak bina kita. Kemudian there are many other studies juga lah yang cuba kaitkan the construction accident ni to the cost. There are also dalam satu kajian ni yang number 1 ni, about 6.5% of the value of completed construction. So the cost of accident equals to 6.5% of the completed cost of the construction, and some say that it is about 8.5% of the tender price. 8.5% of the tender price ni maybe tak termasuk VO yang the contractor selalu minta daripada klien lah kan. And then lack of adequate safety measures goes beyond the health concern, since the cost of construction injuries can have a substantial impact on the financial success of construction organisation and increase the overall cost of construction up to 15%. Ini from another study lah. So untuk determine cost of accident ni, di Malaysia DOSH ada develop cost calculator kan. You can access this cost calculator from DOSH website. I hope it is still there. It was developed through one of our research yang kita laksanakan di Malaysia for the industry to estimate. So I think there are 5 industries. One of it is the construction lah. The other 4, perhaps one of it is the manufacturing, agriculture. So for those who are involved in this industry, they can go to our website and estimate what will be the cost for every accident, whether it involve injuries ataupun kematian di tempat kerja lah. So in Malaysia kita ada develop cost calculator ni untuk estimate what will be the cost of accident. Tapi dah lama lah ni yang kita develop ni, kalau tak salah saya in 2015 kalau tak salah saya. So dia dah outdated dah dengan kenaikan harga barang sekarang, the construction materials naik, the salary pun naik. Perhaps the cost calculator ni pun kita kena review juga in terms of dari segi costing kan. Kena masukkan juga inflation yang berlaku between 2015 ni sehingga sekarang lah. So dah lama lah maksudnya kan. Tapi you can still use it to estimate lah, to give you a rough figure on what will be the cost kalau berlaku accident di tempat kerja. And then bila increase cost ni, ni soalan yang biasa kita dengar daripada industries. What will be the cost of compliance whenever government introduce any new requirements, mandatory requirements macam dalam regulation ataupun order yang kita keluarkan, there will be a cost lah. Macam GST juga, kesan GST tu kita boleh rasa sampai sekarang lah kan, peningkatan harga barang. Tapi sama juga bila kita introduce any new regulation ataupun legislation, there will be a cost incurred to the industries. So in Malaysia, kita belum buat lagi specific studies. Even in the UK dia hanya estimate saja. At that time when they plan to introduce CDM in the UK, dia buat satu simple studies yang mana dia conclude that the cost and benefits arising from the CDM regulation yang dia akan laksanakan pada 1994 tu are likely in practice to be at least in balance. Maksudnya 50% cost and 50% benefit lah. Maksudnya 50-50 lah. So akan ada cost and juga ada benefit. Cuma dia tak dapat estimate lagi what will be the cost bila CDM 1994 tu dilaksanakan. Kemudian this will be the table yang tengah-tengah ni adalah menyatakan cost and benefit yang kita boleh expect lah apabila OSHCIM itu dilaksanakan. This is based on the study in 2007 yang dipublish in 2007 ni. Dia kata the cost will be from the professional fees. So when you require the architects, engineers and designers in general to produce the risk assessment report, to conduct the risk assessment on their design, and to prepare certain documents from the regulation, there will be increase in the professional fees. So, and then when they are subject or liable to a certain duties when they involved in the projects, there will be a professional fees lah yang dia kena incurred to the client lah. And then the designer's risk assessment, this is another issues yang saya dah explain tadi. When the, section 18B OSHA pindaan tu mendaki principle to carry out risk assessment, and then we expect the duties tu will be cascaded down to the contractors, to the designers yang involved dalam construction projects. Sebab the client dia takkan tahu semua kan, dia tak tahu design, dia tak tahu construction process. So macam mana dia nak make sure project itu selamat, dia kena pastikan contractors yang dia lantik untuk terlibat dalam projek itu akan buat risk assessment lah. So the designers and the contractors akan dikehendaki oleh principal tu to carry risk assessment on their behalf to ensure that dia punya projek itu selamat. So the designers akan charge extra because perhaps mungkin, saya tak pasti lagi lah. Tapi these are the expectation yang kita boleh forecast nanti, that the designers will charge more due to the duty for them to carry out this assessment on the principals ataupun client punya behalf tu. And then there are 3 document yang penting yang diperkenalkan oleh OSHCIM nanti. Pertama adalah Pre-Construction Information ataupun PCI. Kedua adalah Construction Phase Plan, CPP, dan juga Safety and Health File. Detail berkaitan dengan 3 dokumen ni, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan boleh rujuk guidelines OSHCIM tu. Guideline OSHCIM in chapter 6. Chapter 6, 6.1 cerita berkaitan dengan 6.1 cerita berkaitan dengan PCI. 6.2 berkaitan dengan Construction Phase Plan, and 6.3 berkaitan dengan Safety and Health File. So ni boleh rujuk lah. Dalam setiap chapter ni pun akan diterangkan duty setiap duty holders. Contohnya apa client punya duty berkaitan dengan PCI, apa designers punya duty berkaitan dengan PCI, apa contractors punya duty berkaitan dengan PCI. Similarly untuk CPP dan SSF pun ada diterangkan dengan detail duty setiap duty holders ni berkaitan dengan setiap dokumen tu. Jadi penyediaan dokumen-dokumen ni akan memerlukan resources lah, people and time and money, budget untuk buat. That's why the cost will be increased from this 5 element here lah dalam table ni. Tetapi pada masa yang sama, seperti yang kita boleh lihat lah dalam slide yang terdahulu, kita akan lihat reduction in construction site accident, especially in fatality cases lah, kan kita boleh lihat tadi. Kemudian, of course, seperti yang saya terangkan dalam slide yang pertama tadi, the intention, the objective of the OSHCIM ni adalah to integrate OSH management into the construction project management. So dia akan improve the management procedures. Kita boleh lihat untuk construction project ni there are professionals kan yang buat, and there are specific courses. Contohnya kalau di UK kita biasa dengar PMP kan. PMP ni is the project management professionals kan. They are certified by an organisation di US yang certified semua project managers dengan PMP ni lah. Similarly in the Europe pun untuk project management ni pun dia ada professional juga. Dia panggil apa? Prince kan, Prince 2. Prince 2. There are many clients, big client in Malaysia yang dah ada either PMP dan juga Prince 2 lah. So di Malaysia kita ada juga kan. Ni didaftarkan oleh CIDB lah, ACPM. Association ACPM, Construction Project Managers kalau tak salah saya lah. Jadi sebenarnya perlulah, amat baiklah kalau setiap contractors, especially G7 lah, ada at least satu orang yang ada ACPM ni lah, ataupun Prince 2 ataupun PMP ni, supaya mereka tahu macam mana cara nak manage project tu dengan baik lah. Sebab apa yang ada dalam PMP, Prince 2 dan ACPM ni, dia berkaitan dengan the good practices in managing construction projects. Cuma mungkin itu perkara yang kita boleh pertimbangkan di masa akan datang, iaitu mewajibkan setiap kontraktor ni ada at least satu atau dua orang, bergantung dengan grade dia lah. Kalau G7 ni should have more than one lah kan, kena ada more than one yang berdaftar dengan ACPM ataupun PMP ataupun Prince 2. Ini antara improvement yang kita boleh lihat lah dalam OSHCIM ni nanti apabila diperkenalkan. Yang kedua, improving productivity. So bila risk kita dah plan and take into account during the pre-construction phase, dia akan improve the productivity dah. There will be less stoppages due to incidents ataupun accidents ataupun dangerous occurrence ataupun reports ataupun aduan, complaint from the public. Kan, it will improve productivity. And then when the workers believe that they are safe and their welfare is being taken care by their employers, they will be more motivated to work and then they'll be more productive lah. And also they akan improve the quality. So these are the cost and benefit yang kita boleh lihat yang akan kita dapat apabila kita kuat-kuasakan OSHCIM ni dengan lebih dalam bentuk yang lebih mandatory lah. Kemudian in the UK, selepas 7 years, selepas beberapa tahun dia implement CDM in 1994 tu, barulah dia buat satu kajian yang lebih detail berkaitan dengan kos yang CDM kenakan kepada industri mereka lah. Jadi ada satu report ni yang you can get it online. Dia panggil research report, RR ni research report 555 yang diterbitkan oleh HSA UK in 2007, yang dia katakan, saya ambil daripada laporan tu, that the report that the cost of CDM 1994 tu does not appear to exceed 2% of the project value for any duty holders. Jadi 2% ni kita boleh agak-agak lah. Agaknya 2% ni kepada siapa? Maksimum 2% ni kepada siapa agaknya? Kan? Of course kepada klien lah. Sebab klien dia kena bayar extra fee kepada consultant, kepada designers. They are also kena bayar extra kepada contractors to carry out additional duties under the regulation. So the client akan experience this 2% increase in project. Tapi ini adalah maksimum. Kalau kita lihat, dia bergantung kepada cost project dan juga duty holders lah. Ada kalau macam designers, the increment tu not more than 1% pun. Kalau project tu nilai dia besar, then the increment tu will be less than 1%. So the increment ni will be depends on who are you, whether you are the client, designers atau contractors, and also to the value of the projects lah. And kalau project tu besar, then this value 2% ni will be less lah. Less than 2% will be the additional cost yang the industry kena fork out untuk comply dengan CDM. And then the proportion of the project value decreases as the project value increases. Ni macam saya beritahu dah, dia berkadar songsang dengan project value. Okay, kemudian impact yang ketiga selain daripada increase in cost yang pada pandangan saya tidak berapa signifikan lah. Kalau nak dibandingkan dengan benefit ataupun manfaat yang kita akan dapat daripada implementation mandatory requirement of OSHCIM tu. Yang ketiga adalah better planning, iaitu better design, better constructability and easy ataupun safer to maintain. Jadi this is the element yang kita boleh lihat tadi apabila client and designers ataupun consultant tu telah ambil kira berkaitan dengan constructability ataupun maintainability during planning, then these two issues akan dapat diselesaikan dengan lebih awal. Kan? Kita boleh lihatlah macam mana kalau satu bangunan tu cantik tetapi susah untuk dibuat maintenance, dia tidak jadi macam berapa sustainable lah kan untuk kita maintain. And kita boleh lihat jugalah the period yang diperlukan untuk planning and design ni pun maybe 2 to 3 years kan. So kalau kita buat dengan baik in 2 to 3 years ni, kita akan dapat benefit itu, we will reap the reward tu, manfaat tu kita akan dapat kecapi selama mana building itu digunakan. Kalau kita build design contohnya ECRL kan, ECRL ni we design for more than 100 years. So the benefit tu kita akan dapat kecapi selama mana bangunan ataupun struktur itu digunakan lah. That's why fasa planning and pre-construction design ni sangat penting sebab dia very short period of time. Tapi kalau kita do it right, kita akan dapat benefit tu, kita akan dapat experience the benefit tu for many years to come. So kalau kita buat satu design bangunan yang cantik, dia akan cantik pada very short period of time. Tapi kalau it is very difficult to maintain, dia akan jadi tak berapa cantik lah kan for many years to come. And then there are studies in the UK juga, ada satu gambar di sebelah kanan ni. Dia beritahu high quality buildings can speed up recovery in hospital by 27%. These are the kajian yang dibuat di UK lah kan. And also it can improve learning in school. The learning experience, learning process yang berlaku di sekolah pun akan increase up to 10%. And it can increase productivity. Kalau you are designing a workplace ataupun factory, it is quality, very high quality. It can increase productivity in the workplace by 20%. And it can help reduce the crime rate by 67%. So these are the banyak study yang telah dibuat di UK kerana mereka telah implement CDM ni lama kan, so they can do a lot of studies, kajian, research yang mana KRIM pun boleh buat juga, tak perlu tunggu OSHCIM ni dilaksanakan. You can study what will be the cost of maintenance, cost of a good quality design building and a poorly designed building jugalah kan, contohnya macam itulah. Okay, there's aspect evacuation during fire, aspect movement of people, contohnya dalam shopping complex ke katakan, kalau it is designed properly, dia akan increase the profit ataupun benefit to the building owners lah. So ada quote lagi, the CDM regulation bring safety and health management on obligatory basis into the planning and design of construction work for project. Saya dah sebut lah tadi. And then the health and safety risk management has always been an integral subset of project management irrespective of any legislation connection. So ni maksudnya kalau dalam PMP tu, kalau kita belajar PMP ni, memang ada elemen risk management yang diajar lah. Jadi elemen risk management ni termasuklah juga OSH risk yang wujud, yang perlu di-manage oleh project managers lah. So ni adalah pelaksanaan di negara-negara di dunia lah. Kita boleh lihat macam saya sebut tadi, selepas European Council Parliament luluskan in 1992, banyak European countries yang telah wujudkan regulation yang sama tu dalam negara masing-masing lah. Ni semua kenalan ni kan. Ni biasa tengok World Cup, mesti tahulah negara-negara bendera-bendera ni kan. Ni Denmark kan, Denmark. Ni France. Ni apa? Iceland ke? Saya tak pastilah. Tapi banyaklah negara-negara yang European countries, termasuklah satu ni. Ni negara Afrika, South Africa, yang telah wujudkan similar to CDM regulation in their countries. So negara South Africa ni dah lama dah ada CDM regulation in their countries. Mungkin disebabkan oleh influence daripada British lah. Dan dulu South Africa ni kan dijajah oleh British. Jadi dia ada influence by the British regulation tu diwujudkan di South Africa. Kemudian di UK and Sweden, Portugal, Republic of Ireland, and this one Italy, Greece, Spain, Germany, and many other countries yang dilaksanakan. And kita ada Hong Kong di sini, and then di Australia di sini, dan New Zealand di sini, Singapore, and Malaysia ni pun adalah bentuk voluntary lagi, similar to US in 2014 ni. So these are some of the countries yang telah wujudkan perkara yang sama seperti OSHCIM, sama ada dari segi prinsip ataupun konsep yang sama dengan OSHCIM. Cuma pelaksanaan tu berbezalah. Yang saya sebutkan di Hong Kong, di US dan Malaysia, dia masih lagi bersifat voluntary. Tapi walaupun bagaimanapun kita boleh lihat kesan yang sama lah, kita boleh lihat faedah yang sama dapat kita lihat dengan penurunan kadar kematian maut di industri pembinaan di Malaysia. Kemudian dari segi pelaksanaan, ini adalah perancangan kita lah. Apa yang kita buat di Malaysia ni, kita bukanlah reinvent the wheel ataupun pick from the sky. Kita buat rujukan. There are many literatures, textbook ataupun reports yang bagi guidance on how we can implement OSHCIM in Malaysia. Pertama yang saya letak tapi nombor 4 lah. Sebenarnya ni adalah success factors. Success factors untuk kita implement OSHCIM concept in Malaysia. Pertama sekali, isu yang dikeutarakan oleh kebanyakan pengkaji ni adalah designers knowledge, attitude and awareness. Ini ada satu obstacle, halangan ataupun cabaran utama bila kita nak laksanakan OSHCIM ni, iaitu designer ni dia tak tahu berkaitan dengan risk assessment. That's why in 2018, DOSH engage UTM untuk carry out satu study to develop modules. Modules ni lah yang kita gunakan untuk train the designers and the clients on the OSHCIM ni lah. So in 2018, sebab kita tahu this will be one of the challenges yang kita akan face when we try to enforce OSHCIM later on. So the designers and the client ni memang kena ada knowledge, awareness, especially dari aspek risk assessment lah. That's why UTM and a few other training providers, kita dah certified untuk laksanakan kursus yang kita panggil OSHCIM Professionals. OSHCIM Professionals ni kita fokus kepada designers, iaitu especially architect, engineers and QS, because they are the hardcore designers dalam construction project in Malaysia lah. Okay. That's why perlu ada latihan yang spesifik, yang khusus untuk designers. Dan kita wujudkan since 2019 lah, bila kita siap kerja kajian ni, kita dah roll out the process untuk recognize few training providers, and we are also working with other training providers untuk kita certified sebagai certified training providers untuk khusus OSHCIM Professionals. Jadi ni adalah perkara penting. Even in the UK, dalam salah satu laporan dia kata even after 20 over years dia laksanakan CDM regulation in the UK, there are still designers in the UK yang tak aware their duties dalam CDM regulation tu. So kita boleh foresee lah the similar problem issues ataupun challenges yang kita akan face bila kita kuatkan OSHCIM ni, the aspect knowledge of the designers. Kemudian ada juga effort from UITM at that time in 2018 untuk embed risk management ataupun design issues dalam syllabus untuk civil engineers in universities. Saya expect in UITM, kalau you belajar civil engineering, you akan belajar some aspect of risk management, risk assessment, and also the design issues untuk design. So in the world now, kalau kita baca banyak literature, memang ada banyak effort by the countries untuk review the syllabus in the universities untuk masukkan risk and construction issues yang ada dalam construction site ni ke dalam syllabus kepada civil engineers and engineers yang lain-lain lah, mechanical atau electrical. So itu salah satu perkara yang kita akan ke arah situlah. Dan yang kedua dari segi OSHCIM Professional lah. So kalau di Singapore dia panggil OSHCIM Professional ni similar to OSHCIM Professional ni DFS Professionals. Cuma kita tak jadikan dia sebagai mandatory requirement dalam regulation sebab kita tak nak berlaku apa yang berlaku di Singapore sebelum dia laksanakan peraturan tu, kan. Kita tak nak similar experience macam Singapore. So kita jadikan dia voluntary dulu, OSHCIM Professional ni, iaitu kita bagi galakkan. Sama jugalah macam ACPM tadi kan. ACPM tu saya tak rasa dia jadi mandatory requirement lagi dalam pendaftaran contractors oleh CIDB, tapi it is good. It is a good time now lah kalau CIDB boleh wajibkan contractors ni, especially G7, untuk ada at least seorang SCPM yang mendaftar dengan mereka lah, supaya pengurusan projek di projek Malaysia besar di Malaysia ni akan dapat dibuat dengan lebih baik lah, kan. Dan perkara yang kedua yang kita akan fokus dalam implementation factor kita ni, yang dicadangkan oleh ramai pengkaji juga, especially yang paper yang saya baca yang ada ni adalah designers tools, guidance. Similar to project UTM yang kita buat pada tahun 2018 tu, kita ada juga develop tools iaitu the risk assessment matrix untuk designers yang kita panggil DRA lah, design risk assessment. This one kita bagikan kepada 3 kan, DRA. DRA 1 untuk conceptual design. Ni biasanya during conceptual phase lah. Concept design and then detail design and then for the pre-construction. So kita wujudkan tools untuk designers gunakan untuk carry out the risk assessment on their design lah. So ini pun kita kerjasama dengan UTM juga. So Dr. Kamal and his team banyak membantulah dalam pelaksanaan OSHCIM ni. Thank you Dr. Kamal and ramai lagi lah Prof Muhammad, Prof lain-lain lah kan, bantu kita untuk develop tools yang digunakan. And then maybe there are many other tools yang kita boleh lihat nanti pada masa akan datang untuk bantu designers jalankan risk assessment untuk ni. So macam saya sebut tadi, section 18B tu memang ada duty yang spesifik untuk principal current risk assessment. So kita expect ini akan dapat membantu principal untuk jalankan risk assessment dalam projek dia. Okay. Pada masa yang sama kita ada juga perkenalkan yang kita panggil General Principle of Prevention. Kita panggil GPP. General Principle of Prevention ni is more general than the hierarchy of controls. Maybe dalam kalangan peserta ni ada SHO dan Triple S yang lebih biasa dengan term hierarchy of control. Tapi GPP ni lebih umum dan lebih luas lah dia punya penggunaan dia. Jadi kita perkenalkan GPP ni also untuk bantu designers evaluate, assess design dia and boleh come out dengan better solution on to tackle risk during the construction, maintenance and usage of the building yang didesign lah. So there are few tools yang kita dah develop, perhaps mungkin dengan adanya BIM kan, Building Information Modeling and software lain yang boleh bantu designers ni akan dapat memastikan pelaksanaan OSHCIM ni dapat dilaksanakan dengan lebih berjaya lah. Dan yang ketiga, of course, the client influence and motivation. Kita boleh lihat lah kalau client tu very knowledgeable and very concerned on OSH, the construction contractors very happy kan. Kita boleh lihat lah very good construction site yang biasa kita wujudkan adalah land lease lah in TRX tu. Cuma kalau ada masa and ada peluang boleh visit TRX project, boleh land lease. They have very good examples lah on how to implement OSHCIM from client punya perspektif. And macam mana dia influence and motivate the designers and contractors to ensure better constructability and better maintainability of their buildings. Kita boleh belajar from the land lease TRX. So there are many other client, contohnya MRT, the Petronas, yang the oil and gas industries yang telah implement OSHCIM principle in general, and yang kita boleh rujuk lah untuk kita belajar macam mana cara OSHCIM ni dilaksanakan secara praktiknya dalam projek-projek di Malaysia. So kebanyakan oil and gas companies di Malaysia ataupun di mana-mana pun, they are very concerned on the risk, and we can see they are introducing many efforts, many programs, incentive to the contractors and the designers so that they can design their structures, building safely and easy to maintain. So the client akan play a very crucial role dalam to ensure success implementation of OSHCIM, and that's why dalam OSHA pindaan tu kita dah masukkan duty principle dalam tu, so that implementation tu kita boleh expeditekan lah. Then legislation, akhir sekali, this is the one of the important factors jugalah. Kita boleh lihat kesan kalau kita jadikan dia mandatory requirement kan. Mandatory requirement versus voluntary requirements kan. Contohnya macam in term of accident rate tadi, kita boleh lihat kesan pada Malaysia and US, and then pada UK, Australia and Singapore. Dan ada banyak perbezaan. Kalau benda ni mandatory, kesan dia akan lebih nampak, lebih signifikan. That's why kita started dengan OSHA pindaan. OSHA pindaan yang kita buat in 2022 tu. And hopefully we can repeal the FMA and introduce OSHCIM regulation ni as soon as mid of in June this year lah, in June 2023, June this year. So that is the plan. That's the plan as of now lah. Macam mana kita nak laksanakan OSHCIM di Malaysia. Kemudian this is very useful figure lah yang saya create in 2017. Bila kita launch OSHCIM tu, saya buat satu figure ni, satu construction life cycle ni yang ada, kita pecahkan kepada 3 yang utama lah, pre-construction, construction and post-construction. So kita boleh lihat dash line. Dash line ni represent the scope of BORAC regulation sekarang. Dia hanya cover the construction and the post-construction phase saja. Termasuklah sampai demolition kan. Kalau kita melihat BORAC regulation tu, dia cover demolition phases juga. And then OSHCIM nanti dia akan cover the whole process lah, the whole life cycle, that also include the pre-construction phase. And the duty holders will be extended from the contractors up towards the client lah. So the client ni, the main client in Malaysia, of course, the government lah. The Malaysian government is the biggest client. Any government in any country is the biggest client of their own countries lah. And then we have REHDA. We met REHDA in 2019. And kita dah first met them in 2019, dan pada masa lepas tu kita buat continuously engage dengan mereka untuk kita update what will be the requirement, and kita bagi banyak awareness program lah dengan REHDA. And then kita ada juga buat engagement dengan Board of Engineers, Board of Quantity Surveyors, Board of Architects, Persatuan Architects, Institute of Engineers, Quantity Surveyors, Royal Institute of Quantity Surveyors, Persatuan Arkitek, Consulting Architect and Consulting Engineers, untuk maklumkan berkaitan OSHCIM ni. Kebanyakan program ni kita buat in 2019, dan kita still buat lagi dengan Board of Engineers. Kalau siapa ada engineers dalam group ni, boleh join lah kan. In 2019, 2020 kita ada buat webinar dengan Board of Engineers, and insyaAllah this year pun kita akan ada buat lagi engagement dengan engineers in Malaysia on OSHCIM. Dengan IEM pun kita ada buat program lah. So dengan arkitek insyaAllah kita akan buat juga later on bila kita kuasakan OSHCIM nanti. Kemudian dengan Persatuan Contractors, PKMM and MBAM, 2 persatuan kontraktor utama di Malaysia, kita dah buat engagement juga also in 2019, dan kita still lagi buat. MBAM ni banyak lead lah dalam OSHCIM ni. Dia banyak buat awareness conference, seminar, campaign. Every year dia ada buat berkaitan OSHCIM ni. Jadi hopefully after this many years, when we make it mandatory later on, the industry will be ready lah. That is the idea pun kan. Kenapa kita perkenalkan OSHCIM awal in 2017 tu adalah to let the industry time, space and apa masa untuk dia learn and try to understand the requirement of OSHCIM, so that when we make it mandatory this year or early next year, dia akan dapat laksanakan dengan mudah lah. And okay, that's all. I hope I'm not terlebih masa. Kalau saya serahkan kepada Dr. Khairuddin
Okay.
untuk
Alright. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, Doctor. Okay. Right. So thank you very much, Dr. Fairuz, for your very comprehensive presentation. Talk about the impacts, the process, the history, the what we call the implementation strategy for OSHCIM in coming soon. So it really give us some insightful information on the what is all OSHCIM about, and also the international benchmarking with the other countries. Right. So I have one question. After the question will be asked after the session speakers number 2 finish, right? Okay, so thank you, Dr. Fairuz. I hope you can wait for after the second presentation for the Q&A session, right? So
okay,
now,
thank you,
thank you. So a session now to the Dr. Kamarizan. May I know the Dr. Kamarizan? All right.
Yes.
Okay,
Boleh
Dr.
dengar?
Kamarizan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi, Dr. Kamarizan. Okay, Dr. Kamarizan Kidam. All right. So Dr. Kamarizan will be a second speaker for his presentation. So before I pass over to Dr. Kamarizan, so allow me to read a little bit a short profile about the doctor. Dr. Kamarizan is a lecturer at Faculty Engineering University Technology Malaysia, UTM, Skudai, I believe in Skudai, Johor, since 2000, and received his PhD from a Doctor of Technology from Finland. All right. Previously, Dr. Kamarizan is an occupational safety and health practitioner and competent person as safety and health officer under OSHA 94. He has more than 10 years experience as SHE engineers in the industry. His expertise cover risk management, loss prevention through design and safe by design. He's also been involved in the OSHI consultancy with various government departments and agencies, including DOSH, SOCSO, and CIDB. He has previously led the research team of UTM, as what mentioned by Dr. Fairuz just now during his presentation, that Dr. Kamarizan led the project of OSHCIM. So, in fact, I wrote the books of the OSHCIM. Dr. Kamarizan is a project leader for that development. Right. Congratulations to Dr. Kamarizan and his team. Right. So, and also developing OSHCIM and also the pilot project with developers in Malaysia, and currently active involved in providing training and dissemination of OSHCIM concept, including this our webinar today. So I believe Dr. Kamarizan has very practical experience in OSHCIM particularly. So he would share the information, the what is current being undertaken by the OSHCIM current now. So I believe Dr. Kamarizan could share with us the very latest information about the OSHCIM and the OSHA as well. So okay, over to you, Dr. Kamarizan.
Okay, terima kasih kepada MC Dr. Muhammad Khairuddin. Okay, boleh dengar suara saya?
Thank you. Okay, clear. Right, clear, Dr.
So boleh nampak slide dan sebagainya?
Belum lagi, kejap ya. Okay, all right, Doctor. Your presentation quite clear. Okay, risk management approach for OSHCIM.
Boleh nampak ke? Dah hilang pula saya.
Okay.
Boleh? Saya tak nampak pula.
Please share again. Sekali lagi.
Okay. This one. Dah nampak ke?
Okay. Okay, clear. Risk management.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So my
Okay,
title today given is a risk management approach for OSHCIM. I attach at the moment to University Technology Malaysia and also part of the team under Unblock Resources in Berhad. Okay, so I think we already cover a lot aspect on the OSHCIM, but today we still, I think, a little bit still on the buying for the new approach for OSHCIM. Okay, so my outline presentation, maybe we start with current issue a little bit, the needs, pro and cons, and also benefit of OSHCIM. This may be related to my current research on OSHCIM. And we look at the overall OSHCIM lifecycle, project lifecycle, and mainly on the risk reduction strategy we use for the safer and healthier design. Okay, challenges of OSH in the new era. Actually, we have a increased level of risk because now we have a lot of tunneling work, a lot of skyscraper to high buildings and sebagainya. So of course they will increase the risk at work. And then we have economic downturn, anti-competition, okay, safety knowledge with negotiation, lack of learning from accident, and poor dissemination of the information. So, and today maybe we'll focus a little bit on the risk management approach. Currently we are using mainly on the hierarchy of control, but the approach in the world at the moment has been changes to do the prevention first, and then you need to control. So I don't say that control need to be eliminated 100%, but we need to prevent through the design, apply the technical aspect of the building safety and so on, and then after we reduce the level of risk to the practicable or acceptable level, then we allow workers to control the residual risk. Okay, so that is the concept. So I think this is about OSHCIM. In also, I think there is a tally to the current approach by international level organization, whereby we are adopting the OSHA Amendment 2020, OSHA Amendment 2022, to follow the Convention number 187 for the OSH framework. So I think that now we are a bit major changes in terms of how we look at the risk and how we can manage the risk. So there is a different total approach what we implement at the moment, and now in the future, so we will go for the prevention. And a little bit why the prevention through design, as I mentioned by Dr. Fairuz, a bit slow because we don't have many research related to the technical safety on the design safety, design for safety, safe by design. Okay, so not much. Okay, and also due to that, maybe we have a slow implementation of safer initiative on design and technical safety. So that also we have unbalanced risk management approach. When accident happen, normally the designer or the owner so look for the procedural approach. Okay, majority of our action taken after the accident happen actually is do briefing, SOP, retraining and so on, and this actually not related, sometimes not directly corrected the cause of accident. And so that's why now we need to move to the more technical and design, and then we control. So this is unbalanced risk management approach at the moment that cause accident continuously occur. And another side is contribution of design to accident is quite high. Okay, so similar to the what I think Dr. Fidos mentioned about the contribution in Europe, in US, in Singapore, something like that. So we have a similar issue in Malaysia. So majority such design error and also technical error combined of this maybe about 60 to 70% due to this design issue associated with the during the early stage of design. Okay, so and we have unbalanced data, so we are actually not correcting. This is, I think, this similar data has been given by Dr. Fairuz. We know that because in UK the first CDM regulation is 1995, 1994. So before that, they do a study on the accident. They said 60%, 42% in the US, Australia 35%. So that is before CDM or Safe by Design has been gazetted in other country. So we are similar now. We have very high accident cases, fatality rate, and so on. So that's why we need to improve our situation. Based on the suitability analysis I have been done in 2017, majority of the design error and so on itu only been corrected about 11 to 12% yang we can say that is suitable. So for example, if you design error, meaning no guarding, for example, no safety barrier, no anchor point, okay, that is the basic cause of accident. So even though the workers use all the safety harness and so on, but there is no hook to, no safety line to hook dia punya PPE, aircon lash. Okay, there is no aircon lash. So how to do some maintenance, cleaning dan sebagainya. So that is the issue, and majority of us, about 67%, just do training, retraining, making a little bit in changes into the procedure, but they never do the design changes. Okay, so that is our issue. I think this is a very serious issue. How we can educate our designers, engineers, and also the SHO, triple S. So that need to, when they're recommending something, they should have a consider balanced approach, which is start with the design review, technical aspect, correctness, the adequacy, specification, and so on. And then maybe you look at the engineering side, sensoring, using latest technology, and now we are in the IR 4.0. Okay, so automation, replacing some part, making the making clear status, user friendly, and ready for accessibility. So that is need a design changes in terms of layout and so on. And then after we do that, so we just continue with the control strategy, yang normally what we do. So this mindsetting need to be changes. So this is, I call it a new approach, whereby I think Dr. Fidos also mentioned about the principle of prevention. And then, so this is the approach I think bring by the OSHCIM. And then because of the unsuitability, so the accident, actually 70% accident naturally happen. This is under normal accident theory by Pero. I think in the books in 1980s, 84, something like that. So when we have a very tight and very loose control, so accident normally happen. So I think this is also correct when in the certain aspect. So we have a very high reoccurrence, 32% at the same place, maybe same operator, same workers, same site, something like that. And we have similar, 39% is similar from side A, side B, side C. So I think this is true also, because we are normally know that falling from height, falling object. So this is the cause of accident. Everybody know. Okay. Everybody know. I can say 100, maybe not 100, maybe 95% of accident causes are known. And I think, based on my research, majority of 95% or so, we can prevent the similar or reoccurrence of similar learning from accident by the current technology, current knowledge. Okay, so only 29 quite difficult to understand. Okay, but majority we are capable. Okay, we are capable to prevent the accident. Okay, so based on this journal publication, so that's why the need at the moment, we need to not really left the current approach more on the control side, but we need to increase the applicability and approach to the safer design, healthier design, robust design, user-friendly design. Okay, so that we have a balanced approach. So the idea is you want to have a balanced approach. We not left out the design and technical aspect or engineering side, not only focus on the systematic system, OSH management system and so on, and also the procedural human factor. So the idea is to have a balance. So everything you need to consider that is only available in the general principle of prevention, ataupun prevention through design, and then we can apply the control aspect from the organizational and the OIK and so on. So this OSHCIM actually is, I think, everybody know, based on slide Dr. Fairuz studied, a lot of country already done. And I look at if you are designer, if you are architect or consultant, if you are not take part on this movement initiative for the safer design, prevention through design, you will be left out. Okay, so because under OSHA Amendment 2022 is very clear under Section 18A. Okay, Section 18A, the duty of principal. Okay, so now when we do some engagement with this client side, they most likely agree to this concept. Okay, and the duty of this client and the principal actually to appoint a principal designer. Okay, so if you are architect, you are engineer, M&E, CNS, and so on. If you are not aware about the OSHCIM, most likely you cannot get the job. Okay, so Section 15 is already gazetted, but not yet been enforced, implemented. But soon, it's very clear that every project of the construction project shall apply the OSHCIM punya approach, and then it's become a business driven. Okay, if you are not capable, if you not know about the OSHCIM, the client side will choose the people who can do for them, because when they do, the requirement is to ensure the design is safe. Okay, through OSHCIM, application of OSHCIM, and then they need to choose a principal designer that well versed with the OSHCIM. Okay, so that is the business condition. So if you are architect now, who are siapa yang ada dalam ni lah, if you are consultant, if you're not move on to accept the concept of risk reduction through the design by OSHCIM, that is I think you are not ready for the new concept of this improvement. When OSHCIM become enforced, okay, the principal designer should well aware of the OSHCIM. Okay, so that is, I think, they actually is a business driven. Okay, and this also already why Singapore 15 years ago. Actually, Singapore quite late in terms of OSHA. So we introduced OSHA first, and then Singapore follow Malaysia. But in terms of OSHCIM and CDM, they are very fast because they know the business will the management and so on of the project will be changed to follow UK, Australia, and so on. So their DFS similar to OSHCIM lah. Malaysia OSHCIM, Singapore DFS. So design for safety, actually they want to conquer the market for the Southeast Asia and the world. So they want to export their design. Okay. So when they bid for the tender in Malaysia, Singapore, in Vietnam, Philippines, okay, the overseas. So actually overseas is already adopt the OSHCIM. So because they know the market in the Singapore is very limited, very small. So they now the idea is to sell the talent from point of view of designer, so that they can grow the economy and overall thing. So it's very smart. Okay, so that's why I said safety should become a business driven. Okay, so I think there is so OSHCIM approach in practice is to design out the hazard, and we can apply to all aspects like tool, equipment, selection, processes, material, structures, product, work method, operation, and so on. So we can apply. The concept is safer and healthier, more robust, something like that. It's very difficult to get a safe condition. Okay, that's why in OSHA 1992 they just said that they can say the term is practicable as well foreseeable, because we know that during the design we have limited information. The detailed design not been yet available, and the contractor still do a little of changes onto the design. So that's why early engagement of the contractor is good. Yeah. So because we at the moment our principal designer, our engineers, our architects not aware about this, not really aware and how to apply this OSHCIM. So we have a problem. Okay, but slowly after this has been gazetted and enforced, and a lot of training is available at the moment. So the principal designer should get some knowledge on this, and they can apply directly to the drawing and project. Okay, so it takes time. But we need to start learning. Okay, and I think we need to educate our principal designer, engineer, so on the practicable, on foreseeable, and because level of risk ni very maybe our architect not really aware about this. So this is maybe new thing for them lah. That's why they are more banyak keluhan dan sebagainya lah. So our approach is, can we design this more safer than this, before this, and so on. So that is the approach. It's not to get the absolute safe. Okay, so we need a more safer than before yesterday, better than today. So today better than yesterday, something like that. So that That I think is the most effective way to prevent accident. Okay. And the safer and healthier design, actually they focus on the hazard. Okay. Prevention through design and safer designing, we focus on the hazard, pure risk of the hazard, pure risk, and not really on the risk, because the control concept is more on the risk control. Okay, so our design to design out the hazard to eliminate the cause of the hazard totally. Okay, so it's a little bit different. So we target on the hazard elimination, hazard control at source, for example. Then risk will come later when we do the prevention. We do the risk control because this risk is a function of likelihood and also severity. So in the prevention through design, we more focus on the consequent reduction. Okay, not really on the likelihood, because likelihood might focus on human factor. That's why the risk control they should be on later part. So a safer design should be do first. Okay, so that we target the hazard. So we'll build in safety inside our building, inside our design, not really on the add-on, because add-on consider a very not highly reliable. Okay, add-on, and so that's why we try to approach on the higher level of the risk reduction efficiency by using change in the design layout and every and other thing. So overall risk management actually start from the okay, I can see that here the red star is a considered pure risk. So this pure risk we need to design out, okay, by eliminating the hazard itself focus, so that we can reduce the risk level to the practicable. Okay, so this is a pure risk very high. For example, if we can apply to the fall from height, for example, so that is a pure risk. Pure risk consider there is no barrier, no design aspect, no safety. So this is open edges. Okay, so everybody can fall because there is pure risk. There is nothing being controlled or eliminated. Okay, and then we apply the principle of prevention through design, how to make it safer. In terms of to ensure there is no open edges. Is it possible to ensure that our project no open edges? So that is the question you need to ask during the design, how to make it. Okay, so that if we can eliminate the falling object or people jatuh dan sebagainya. So actually we can achieve 100% safety, something like that. So by design, you need to do it by design. And then the yellow one is practicable, remaining risk. Okay, then this one by the designer. Okay, the dotted line arrow ke bawah is a duty of the designer who design the building. Okay? And then we have another designer or engineers. Okay, this one is a dotted line of the red line. Okay, so we now further reduce the risk to the acceptable level, or we can say that acceptable, practicable under section 15, practicable. So the black line is considered as a as acceptable or practicable level of risk. So level of risk. So this only after this, after the designer tried to design out hazard from the dia punya drawing, dia punya design, and then we reduce further by using technology, by using engineering part by the engineers, okay, CNS, MNE, and so on, the electrical, okay. Then we only pass the risk, remaining risk, or we call it, I think in our new regulation they call it residual risk. So at this time, this point, okay, so we only transfer ataupun expose the level of risk to the workers is considered very low already, or acceptable or practicable, okay. And then we control the reduced level of risk, the residual risk too, by maintaining level of risk. This one maybe can be done by our SHO, our triple S, and also the workers as the who work with the risk. And then we have the PPE management system and so on. Since the risk level of risk always dynamic. Okay, we never get risk zero. Okay, so you very positive should be always there. Okay, and then there could be increase or down depending on the activity, depending on the safety and health punya awareness level and so on. Okay, so that is the overall risk management related to the when we combine the OSHCIM and plus BOEC regulation. So the BOEC regulation mainly banyak on the this side, okay, this side, okay. But the OSHCIM, we focus on the pre-construction. Okay, OSHCIM on the pre-construction, but BOEC regulation in the construction and post-construction. Okay, remember the slide from Dr. Fairuz on the 3 phase of the construction project. Okay, so risk management, why we need to embark to the high reliable safety achieve. So based on this paper from Japan, they say that if we are applying the control method, for example, by indication, by SOP, work instruction, warning sign, okay, hazard punya logo, and also support by manual SOP, safe system of work, PTW, and so on, that only achieve about 20%. Okay, so what left is 80%. So that's why our risk is high, and our safety officer and triple S quite full of time doing the supervision and monitoring, inspection, and so on, because we are using only 20% of effectiveness on the risk control. So what left 80%, you need to provide more supervision, more work to be done, and so on. So this is what we have at the moment, more on the control method. So in reality, we need to shift to level 1 and level 2, more on the safer OSHCIM approach, and a lot of safeguard, safety barriers, safety by engineering and technical safety. So that one we can achieve 80 to 100% safety achieve. Okay, so that if you can apply this OSHCIM, actually the overall risk will be reduced, and then the remaining risk or residual risk can be controlled easily, okay, by using 20% efficiency, because we already move, we already eliminate or control at source 80% of the hazard. Okay, so the remaining risk or residual risk only 20%. And then is good enough. Whatever we practice at the moment, our knowledge in the construction phase. Okay, so because we already designed out the hazard, we already put a barrier in terms of safety of the workers. So only 20% baki risk yang kita kena manage. Okay, tapi kita kena apply lah. We need to apply the OSHCIM like designer, engineers to apply. Okay, so that's why it's a continuous process. We start with the OSHCIM first. Okay, prevention through design. Okay, safer design, safe by design. Okay, applykan itu principle of prevention. Okay, through design by our architect, by our consultant, by our designers. Okay, and okay, then residual risk at the what called practicable or acceptable risk only can be allowed to the workers. Okay, so this is the concept of the what we do, what the new thing under OSHCIM. So again, at the pre-construction safer design, our objective, technically and engineered safety should be applied, and then at the construction process phase, we have OSH program, we have a management system, we have a emergency response plan, and also PPE. Okay, so that is whatever you implement now in the construction phase, you just continue. Okay, but because this OSHCIM not yet been implemented, so level of risk, our black line may be a little bit high than what we expected, because we never do design review, design out the hazard by technical safety and so on. So our condition at the moment, maybe our level of risk in our construction site at the moment is a little bit higher than what we expect. Because we never do the design risk assessment, control, prevention, and so on. So you imagine when our architect, our consultant, during the pre-design stage, already identify the hazard, already make a recommendation to control this hazard. Okay, so that you imagine how safe is our site after implementation of OSHCIM, because we have for normal process like building design, when the project brief or the ideas of this project has been shared to the designer and so on. So actually we got 6 months to 1 year for the pre-construction. Okay, we have a lot of time. So the majority of the accident, about 60%, because of poor planning. Okay, so now we have 1 year to plan. Okay, because of the OSHCIM. And new duty holder will do the design risk assessment. Okay, so we have 6 to 1 year time for better scheduling, better planning. Okay, and 63% of accident because of lack of analysis. Okay, so you imagine very large 60 and 63% of accident in our site is due to this aspect. Then this already corrected, the approach already available in OSHCIM. Okay, so the risk assessment under section 18B can be divided to two categories, at least two categories. One during the design, risk assessment during design. So we call it DRA. Dr. Fairuz has mentioned, design risk assessment. This should be done by the consultant, should be done by the designer and engineers. Okay, Nothing yet to the safety officer. Okay, belum masuk lagi. So officer, safety health officer, and the contractor at the construction phase, they need to do risk assessment as well, but more like high rank. Okay, with a method of statement and so on. Okay, so that is belong to contractor. Okay, so at the moment we have 3 design review starting from day 1. We have design review and so on. So now actually OSHCIM requirement ni kalau kita buat, actually dia akan try to reduce the risk. Macam ni lah, safer design, technical aspect. So we only expose the workers to the residual risk. Very low risk actually, acceptable level or practicable. So that is the ambient of this lah, yang kita hasrat DOSH untuk come out with the OSHCIM punya regulation. So we have more duty holder involved in safety. We have more time to plan. We have more people to cooperate and coordinate. Okay, we have shared responsibility of safety and health at site. So this is among the best approach at the moment, how we can reduce accident in construction industry. So pure risk is considered unacceptable. Mungkin I say that practicable on the yellow region and acceptable on the green aspect. Okay, so we hope that our designer consultant can reduce the pure risk level to the remaining risk, and then by engineers terus kepada residual risk. So the workers only accept the residual risk. Okay, so that's why we need to have a leading indicator compared to lagging indicator. Lagging not much you can use because accident already happened. The loss of life already occurred, so not much we can do. Okay, on the control side. So that's why we need to go for the leading indicator, so that we can have a very good safety system at workplace. So duty holder, designer, okay, engineers. So these 2 aspects under OSHCIM, under pre-construction, under BOWEC, construction phase on employer, section 15, OYK, Safety Health Committee, SHO, SSS, and so on. So at the moment we only say that SHO was wrong doing, okay, if accident happened. So that is not correct. So we need to correct this. So there should be majority 45% by the design error, okay, and another percent by the 22% by engineering error, technical error. So not really direct to the employee, OYK and contractor. Okay, so I think which is very good aspect where we have a very clear duty holder and your rule and responsibility on the safe by design and the safety implementation also. Okay, so OSHCIM, I think this is very clear about OSHCIM. So timing, we have a safer design, technical safety. So on the development and design phase, pre-construction too. So a lot of issue related to procurement, selection of the contractor, contract. So you need to spec in the design spec and so on. So there is a lot of during the pre-construction, not much on the operation. Operation is as usual. Okay, whatever you plan at the moment that is the OSHCIM also, because BOWEC will be replaced by OSHCIM. So OSHCIM cover everything, life cycle aspect. Okay, so the main requirement untuk OSHCIM is for the designer and the engineers. Okay, consultant, not safety and health officer, SSS. Okay, so prevention then control. So we need to prevent, build-in safety, add-on safety by design. Okay, and then baru kita accept and control. But the level of risk is been reduced to the level of, we can say that apa ni, residual risk only. So very low, or almost acceptable aspect. Okay, so now we moving from the hierarchy of control to the principle of prevention, and then we can apply also from experience in the nuclear technology and also oil and gas. So oil and gas, they directly try to avoid the hazard. Okay, they try to avoid the hazard. Okay, oil and gas, and then they try to focus on the severity reduction, and then baru pergi pada likelihood reduction. Okay, so what we learn from the nuclear technology and also oil and gas, so now is been applied to the construction safety. Okay, so for those who have knowledge in oil and gas or nuclear, so actually that is the same idea, same approach to construction industry. Okay, so I think the second point, this is the, I think, buy-in process line for the impact assessment related to the legal aspect, management aspect, and the impact on the OSHCIM documentation to the organization. Okay, so this is my research together with one of the client side. Based on our study, okay, OSHCIM impact assessment on the legal aspect, majority of the respondents say that 75% of the respondents say if you are not following this OSHCIM, you will have a big impact by DOS lah lepas implemented, because it's a very clear on the OSHCIM requirement on section 18A and also 18B, and the penalty of OSHA amendment 2022 ni is 500,000 ringgit. So 500,000 penalty, and plus maybe also the penjara and so on, actually provide a very high impact to the organization. Okay, so very, very high. Okay, and on the management system, impact to the management, how we do the project life cycle and so on, there is quite high also, 50%, because they're always relate to the legal. Okay, if you are not really, for example, if you're not appointing safety professional, OSH professional, so there will be effect on the delivery of the objective of the OSHCIM. Okay, so maybe accident happen, so there will be if you are management system not tally what we have in OSHCIM guideline 2017, so that is the management system been introduced by DOSH under OSHCIM. Okay, so the impact also quite high. So that's why we need to truly understand the OSHCIM punya management system. Okay, and the third is a documentation. Okay, the documentation is also required by DOSH when they do enforcement. So if you are not ready, for example, like client brief, pre-construction information, and construction phase plan, and so on, that is a legal requirement under OSHCIM to furnish the plan, the activity, the evidence that you comply with OSHCIM requirement. Okay, and also the safety health file and so on. So that one also, because OSHCIM now is in the regulation already, just not been enforced. Okay, so when they are enforcing this, automatically the impact to the organization will be high. Okay. Okay, so pro and con and benefit, you can see based on the research though, majority of the respondent give quite balance between negative impact, costly tadi tu. Macam Dr. Fairuz say about 2% or 1% from the from the project cost. But in other side pula, there is also other 17 and 9 say that this is a very large impact. So there is a balance. Ada yang so the to give you the judgment about this, the finding is, I think for the large negative impact is based on day-to-day operation. Okay, you buy safety shoes, mungkin 70, 80 ringgit, then you say the cost to client, to contractor is this much of money. Okay, that yes, that betul juga lah, that is true also. But for the long run, okay, when you do a lot of design risk and try to prevent, making simpler, making easy to manage, free maintenance. So for the long run, for the short term tu nampak negatif, but if you build the building and then you own, you operate, so the true true benefit we can realize. Okay, because when you say that it's easy to manage, okay, so your maintenance costs, cleaning costs during the utilization of the building will be reduced. Okay, so that is I think we need to look at the long term. Okay, we need to look at on the client side. Okay, like Sunway company macam apa ni Saindabi. Okay, so they actually they build the project and then they use it. Okay, so that is a very good cost saving in terms of maintenance, cleaning and so on, because the maintenance quite easy and cheaper to do. Okay, so safety always like that is food for the long term, not for the short term. For the short term, we have a very big investment, maybe for the training, to do the risk assessment. So you need to hire a consultant, you need to hire safety OSHCIM professional. So that is cost, but that only for the first time. So when you already have safety training, for the next project, you don't have to do a training again. Okay, so for long term like this. So if you have already competent person or OSHCIM professional, that is one off. Okay, operation ada lah. Tapi maknanya training, workshop, okay, the safety system need to build is one off. Okay, only maybe you need to learn for the designer and the engineers, maybe they need to learn for the first 2 or 3rd project. After that, they know already. Okay, so for the long term, this may be quite difficult for the beginning, but after you know the concept, know the ideas, you have a checklist and so on. So maybe less problem or less cost will be incurred for the next 2 or 3 projects. After that, we know already. Okay, the system in place already. So this is correct, I think, depending on the respondent punya thinking. For the short term, of course, maybe cost about 2% or 1% for the consultant and the architect and the engineer. Okay, but for the long run, for the utilization, for the maintenance, for the cleaning, repair, and so on, you can get the large positive impact. Okay, so safety is always like that, because we are believe in the long term punya aspect. Okay, for the progress delivery impact, okay, we have a large majority say that when you apply OSHCIM, you can have on time delivery. Okay, no delay. Okay, so very clear on this side, because we have a 1 year or 6 month for better planning and analysis and so on. We can try to look at the problem, okay, and then we solve early before we start the construction. So this is very clear cut of how OSHCIM has been provide positive impact on the project delivery. Safety and health impact also quite high. Okay, we have a very harsh impact because we already identify the risk, the hazard, and then we already propose several control measures through design, technical aspect, and then human factor. Okay, so we apply the three DRA 1, 2, and 3 so that we should know well and we should have a better safety performance. Okay, accident rate also will reduce. Will reduce. This is compared to others, UK, US, US a bit higher, Singapore, Australia. There is a lot of, I think Dr. Fairuz already show some graph profiling on each industry nation. So we look at very high impact on the accident rate reduction. Productivity
Sorry, Dr. Kamal.
Yeah.
You have another 15 minutes lagi to finish your presentation. Is that okay?
Okay, no
we'll
stop
stop
banyak.
at 11:30.
We can stop anytime.
All right. Okay.
But this I think I need to share because we are still banyak I can call it mind setting tu tak nak kena betulkan.
Okay, alright.
Banyak kata costly lah, delay tu lah, banyak kerja lah. So that is the feedback from architect, feedback from the engineer. So I think this data I proven here that show that the productivity impact increase, accident rate reducing. So I think this is the good data we can show to the stakeholder. Okay, I
so
continue.
Maybe we can have a Q&A session after 11:30, right? We open up to the question. All right, thank you. Proceed, Dr. Kamal.
Okay.
Another 15 minutes. All right.
Okay. Sustainability impact. We also consider this SDG, ESG. Okay, because we need to have a decent workplace. Okay, so we also have a large impact on sustainability, maintainability. Okay, for the short term and long term. This one similar to the cost study. Okay, but if you look at the long term and you use that then you use that building, you manage that building, there will be a reduction in the maintenance punya cost. Constructability, yes, also buildability aspect of the process of the project, and constructability, how to this more on the planning side, and try to find what is the restricted barrier challenges on the design itself. So we already have start early, 6 months before, 1 year before. So we have plenty time to look at this constructability impact. Modification, renovation, okay, but I think this one more on the cost. Operability also very utilization, very high impact. VO also depending case to case. So I think this will have a balance. Should be in theoretical, we should have a low variation order VO, since we are already planning, and then how depend on the cooperation and coordination of the work. Okay, so this majority of the kita punya engineers and consultant work in silo, so there is not much coordination and cooperation between all parties. So this one also need to be focused on how to ensure our design team is work together. Okay, clash detection, very high impact. Okay, project coordination, very high impact. Technology investment impact. Okay, so this will make the risk become lower. Okay, waste management also we can use recycle, reuse, and so on. Okay, so that is the more on this. I will go through this very fast lah. I think partly already discussed by Dr. Fairuz. Okay. So this one is the process, construction process as usual. Okay, I just go through saja. Okay. So this client, they start with the client section 18A. So then client need to appoint architect, engineers, QS, contractor. Okay, so that is the duty of the client side. And then architect become maybe SO or whatever, submitting officer and sebagainya. So they most likely become a designer or principal designer. So appointing very awal. So the PD, the client start from day one. Okay, they got the section 18A punya responsibility, rule and responsibility, and then they need to appoint principal designer. Okay, at the concept design, and they produce based on this one. They need to appoint also principal designer after the tender. Okay, so the design review, actually we have 3 design review. One is the DRA1 concept design review at the concept design phase planning, and then based on the recommendation and the hazard associated with the DRA1, so you need to build in, apply whatever recommendation we do to the detailed design. Okay, so whatever recommendation or safety features that has been identified in the DRA1 should be available in the detailed design. Okay, and then after the design team produce the detailed design, we should conduct again the detailed design review and provide PCI for the tender process. So our safety and health punya finding, the risk level, the methodology you should be put under tender stage, so that the per tender contractors know what to expect. And then after contractor has been appointed, they work together so to come up with the pre-construction plan, di mana the design risk tadi tu has been carried out during the pre-construction design review. Okay, and then so on lah. So the overall design review like this lah, and we have several documents to come up lah. Okay, so one is the safety and health file. Okay, so everybody is now, in general, they have a rule, they have a duty under OSHA. Then if everybody play their role, actually our construction project will be more safer. Okay, so OSHCIM mainly focus on the pre-construction. Whatever best practice available in construction and post-construction, you can continue. So our focus actually on the OSHCIM for the new duty holder like client, principal designer, engineers, architect, semua tu, and also the principal contractor. So the idea is focus on the design, during the design, pre-construction, and then to reduce the risk by prevention through design. So this is the scoping. Design rule 1 focus on the site location, public access, traffic, type of building, surrounding, landscape, the general design constraint. Okay, detail design, DR2, DRA2 focus on the construction method, detail design, access and ingress, weather condition, confined space, maintenance and repair. Okay, di rule 3, DRA3 focus on temporary work and specialized untuk design, special design. Okay, so this is the overall procedure for the inilah for the OSHCIM. So we have 4 steps, and everything is summarized here, whereby on the DR A1, we have 6 elements to consider, design element. Design review 2, we got more, 10, at least 10 consideration. And step 3, DR3, more focus on the temporary work and special design weather and so on. So what is the impact to our project, to surrounding, and the surrounding to our project? So that need to be identified early, because maybe the crack and so on. So detail focus on the how to carry out this in terms of fabrication, maybe method using IBS or prefab or in situ, depending. So that we need to discuss very early, so that we can put the BQ safety, identify hazard, and we have a budget for safety on that. Okay, so the rule 3 more on the execution. Okay, so more detail, similar to what we have at the moment, is a method of statement, high rate, and so on. Okay, so not much. The rule 3 is belong to principal contractor, main contractor. The rule 1 and the rule 2 by the principal designer. Okay, so this one not much to worry, because it's very close to what we practice now, and they are already inside the construction phase. Okay, so similar design risk assessment using a concept design review. Not much different between these high rate. Okay, so we have assessment of likelihood ranking, 5-time ranking level, okay, severity 5 level, and we have risk metric 5x5, okay, and we based on the level of risk and so on, we can category to the acceptable, practicable, moderate, and also high risk. Okay, so this similar. So risk assessment method is almost the same, but the parameter to consider may be a little bit different. Okay, so this is the action is considered acceptable, tolerable ni macam practicable, and not acceptable. Okay, so based on the risk assessment in DRA 1 and 2 and 3, if you have a high risk, meaning red, similar to the pure risk, so it's not acceptable. Okay, so the designer, the engineers, consultant need to do something to reduce to the tolerable or practicable. Okay, because the impact for the high risk ni adalah fatal kan, fatal, more than multiple surgery dan sebagainya. Okay, so that is considered not acceptable. So you cannot design the building with high risk. So they need to reduce the risk lah. So by applying this new 9 principle of prevention, okay, kalau nak belajar ni pun mungkin 2 hari lah nak cerita, nak apply this. Okay, so the issue is there is no PPE. PPE is not the prevention. PPE is a last line of defense. So we need to apply this. So our engineers, our architects, our consultants, CNS, MNE need to apply all this. Avoid, control at source, combat at source. Adopt the work to individual using technical aspect, replace, cover, and so on. So this is working sheet for the DRA1. So we have the red at the end. After we finish all the risk control and prevention and safety measures, you can get green. So this is very, very good. Okay, for example. And then you need to summarize to the form A for DOSH. This DOSH format. Okay. Summary from here. This one is working sheet for the architect, for the designer, for the MNE CNS. Okay, and this information should be transferred to form A. So that one DRA1 similar to DRA2. Okay, so we transfer to form B. Form C actually for the DRA3. DRA3. Okay, and then the overall during the handover of the project to the new owner or to the owner from the contractor. Okay, actually from the PD, principal designer, they should have a Form D ni dia bagi kepada contractor. So contractor know what is the residual risk. And then after contractor finish the job, during the handover to the owner, so the contractor also need to provide this risk register to the owner. Okay, so that is the remaining risk identified for the owner utilization of the project lah. Okay, so this based on DRA 1 and 2, this information should be available in the tender document. Okay, so there is a sort of information to the tender, to the contractor, what is the safety risk and so on. Okay, so they need to know, okay, what is the hazard, and then they will spec in the safety measures during the tender. Okay, so based on the information gathered and created by the principal designer and designer, so they should communicate very well in the tender document. We call it PCI, pre-construction information. Then the BQ safety will become clearer. Okay, so that the no budget issue. Okay, no budget issue in our side can be solved because the safety, the hazard, the risk is already identified, and suggestion to control the risk at the construction phase has been identified and recommended. That recommendation will be translated to the budget for safety, okay, and should be part of the tender punya price lah. Okay, so this is also another example how we communicate the hazard identified during the design to the contractor. Okay, this is also similar. Okay, by that I think thank you. This cover the sharing part from my side lah. Thank you, Tuan.
All right, thank you, Dr. Kama, for your wonderful presentation with regard to impact assessment of OSHCIM. You are talking about how to manage the risk by applying the risk management approach, OSHCIM life cycles, and the most important thing I like that principle, general principles of prevention. So this is a kind of principle that we should implement in our organization in coming years, right? So now we are open for a Q&A session for two speakers, Dr. Fairuz and also Dr. Kamrizan. So I refer back to the question that the participant has posted in the chat box. So the first question from the Mr. Teo Chen Hong, or quite long question and queries about the cost saving of the present and the old design by end users. Some of the completed construction designers Malaysia plants are not catered for maintenance service purpose. So he asked about are we considering the we call it the design requirement for capturing lacking of communication with the end user operators on maintenance operationally during FEED, front end engineering design, hence causing many challenges to execute maintenance for plant. So he has compared with the plant owners in Australia that integrate a proper design layout for maintenance purpose. So in that case, what is the opinion for the OSHCIM, our OSHCIM regulation? Is it considered that what we call it maintenance design in the OSHCIM? So maybe Dr. Fairuz?
Thank you, Mr. Teo and Dr. Khairul-Din.
Yeah.
So when we look at the profile of the client in Malaysia for the construction, we can group them into two main group lah. One is the one yang construct the building and then own and operate the building, and the other one perhaps yang macam developers who construct the residential houses and then they will rent, sell or to the new owners. So for this Mr. Teo punya question ni, saya rasa dia refer to the client yang construct building or structures tu and then they operate and own. Kan? For this type of client, I think the idea of OSHCIM, the principle, will be very interesting to them, because they are the one who will own and maintain the building later on. So if they consider maintainability aspect, the cleaning, the maintenance, the renovation, refurbishment later on for the building, then they will be able to manage, operate, and own the building at a cost which is perhaps more lower than those who are only design and construct for others to buy and own. So, for example, when we spoke to the MLT, after they have completed the MLT phase 1, we remind them, we told them that you should ask the people who operate and own the MLT 1, so that the design of the MLT 2 will also include the shortcomings, the what are lacking in the MLT 1 can be also improved and considered in the MLT 2 line, so they can improve their MLT 2 line significantly by learning what from their previous perhaps shortcoming or mistakes in the line 1. Similarly, for example, for Petronas, that's why we start engaging with the Petronas, TNB, and many other big clients in Malaysia, because we can sell this idea of OSHCIM easily to them, because usually Petronas, they are not only doing the construction, they also operate and maintain these structures, for example, oil and gas facilities. So if they can maintain it in a safe and cheap manner, then that will be a very good point to them lah. There are many client in Malaysia yang dah very good in this idea pun, bukan idea yang baru lah, because the OSHCIM ni sebenarnya has been implemented in some of the client that I've mentioned before, and it should be no problem to them lah. But for developers yang build for others too, then this will be the challenges that we can foresee later on lah. Thank you, Doctor. I hope it answered the question lah.
Yes, I think Dr. Fairuz has mentioned about some of the project that have been done before, right? Okay, thank you. So next question from Mr. Muhammad Razif. This regarding to the amendment of OSHA 2022. So you want to know what is the penalty if they not comply or implement the OSHCIM regulation.
Yes.
So you want to know the penalty.
Okay.
Right. How much the penalty cost? All right.
You know, the OSHA amendment has been revised. We increased the penalty 10 times, from 50,000 maximum to 500,000. So it will depends on which clause that we will prosecute them. If we prosecute them under section 15, 18A, 18B, then the maximum penalty will be 500,000 lah. Macam duty principal, duty employer in 18A, 18B, the penalty will be maximum. But if we prosecute them under regulation, most likely the maximum penalty will be lower, because the maximum penalty in the regulation cannot exceed the maximum penalty in the main act. It can be sama tetapi not lebih daripada tu. So it will depend on which classes that we will prosecute you, and how do we choose which clauses we prosecute you is based on the evidence, based on the accident, the evidence that we can gather from the investigation. If we are convinced that we can safely or successfully prosecute you under the regulation, we will proceed under the regulation. Otherwise, we will prosecute you under the main act, which will give maximum penalty lah. So it will
Okay.
depends on which clauses we prosecute.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Fairuz. Meaning to say that the penalty is become a $500,000, will cost the $500,000 the penalty, so very high.
Yeah.
That the industry should take cannot take for granted for this new regulation. It's very high penalty. All right. So thank you for Dr. Fairuz. All right. So next a question, Dr. Kamarizan. Okay. From Mr. Teo. Any assumption in this case study, and if yes, what are them? What are the improvements that are required for the case study? He asked about your presentation about the case study. What the case study that you have done before? The case study is strictly focused on construction of building and infrastructure of or which field? So maybe Dr. Kama.
Okay.
Yeah.
That study actually is our consultant, our respondent is from the designer team of one of the client on the construction project.
Okay. All right.
So it's a design team of the client on the developer lah.
All right.
Okay.
So that means the case study been done in Malaysia.
Yes, in Malaysia.
Okay. All right. So okay, I think clear for the Mr. Teo. All right. Next question to Dr. Fairuz. What are the challenges in implementing the OSHCIM, particularly in Malaysia construction industry? Because we know to implement those new amendment regulation is not easy, especially for the construction industry. There are many resistance and also challenges. So maybe Dr. Fairuz can give some information on this.
Okay, first, thank you, Doctor. I will say that the implementation of OSHCIM must be based on fact and experience from other countries. And that's why when we look around in many countries, what is the best for our country. So that's why we have many we have study and we have done many research on this area, and with the help of UTM, one of the challenges will be to educate the design profession in Malaysia, the architects, engineers, and QS. And also we have done many seminars, and most of the participants are among the contractors and the SHOs. So in this area, we expect the contractors will be very happy, and they are ready to implement OSHCIM in their workplace, in their work site. But then the client and the designers will be having some problem. But then that's why we introduce the OSHCIM professionals program for the designers. And also in terms of the client, we approach the client who build and own the building or structures, because we can convince them by saying that by considering the maintainability and constructability aspect of your building or structures, you can get more from your investment. So that is how we approach this thing lah.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Fairuz. All right. Next question to Dr. Kamarizan. All right. Dr. Fairuz and also Dr. Kamarizan has presented about the benefit, the advantage of OSHCIM regulation. What are the difference between benefit of OSHCIM and also the BOEX regulation? Can Dr. Kamarizan give some of the benefit as compared OSHCIM and also BOEX regulation?
Difficult question. Benefit of BOEX actually based on Factory Machinery Act. Okay, now Factory Machinery Act will be repealed. Okay, so no more after this been enforced. There is no more BOEX lah. So, but BOEX actually is totally different with OSHCIM. Okay, so OSHCIM focus on the pre-construction.
Okay.
Pre-construction before the construction start. Okay, BOEX is when you send JKJ3 tu, you start BOEX lah. Okay, right. But is a responsibility of the main contractor. So I think whatever available in BOEX is no changes at all. Okay, but the main improvement and the benefit then we can get is from OSHCIM during the pre-construction. Okay, where as I show in my slide, we have less VO, we have safety benefit better. Okay, even waste pun ada reduction. So you refer back to my slide. So this is a very benefited when we apply OSHCIM. Okay, BOEC is still the same. If you want to kill more people, if you want to have a stagnant or similar accident rate, okay, you just follow BOEX. But with OSHCIM, actually, we can reduce the injury, the fatality, because we plan, I think, about 6 months to 1 year during the design stage. Okay, in the pre-construction, so we have a lot of plenty of time to do better organizing, better planning. Okay, do risk assessment and try to improve this problem or threat or ancaman early, so that we have, when we go to the construction phase, we just implement it. Okay, so it should be very much benefit lah yang kita dapat.
Okay.
Kalau pakai OSHCIM. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Kamarizan. Okay. Next question to Dr. Fairuz. Okay. The OSHCIM regulation have been introduced since 2017, right? So, what are the readiness level of the construction industry to accept the OSHCIM regulation to be enforced coming soon? So, in terms of readiness level, acceptance level of the construction industry.
Thank you, Doktor.
Yeah.
Kita dah ada satu kajian. This is also thanks to CIDB jugalah. Actually, when we started this BOEX, the OSHCIM, we work closely with CIDB, and Tuan Syed also involved when we bring expert from UK, HSC UK, to guide us on how to implement this OSHCIM in Malaysia. And one of the recommendation in the report from that expert from the UK is that we need to find the champion. The champion is meaning among the clients who will easily convince on the benefit of OSHCIM ni. Salah satu yang kita kenal pasti adalah macam Petronas lah, who are the client yang akan they are also in the oil and gas industry, as we know, having very high standards of safety and health, and also have resources yang banyak lah kan to take account into the safety and health ni. And then also they are also the client yang build and own their own facilities. They can't compromise any failure in their operation or plan because the kerugian tu yang akan dialami tu akan tinggi lah kan. So they can't compromise any risk. So that's why in the HSE punya report yang CIDB own tu, they encourage us to identify this champion of the client ni, and through this they can show what is good by having OSHCIM in their design and construction projects. So by having this champion, we can sell this OSHCIM product easily towards other businesses and clients in Malaysia lah. So that is one of the in terms of the readiness, there are some clients who are ready. Like I said, the land lease in TRX, they have implemented OSHCIM in their project, not only in TRX but also in the previous project, because they have done it in their country, and when they got project in Malaysia, they bring that principle, similar practices in Malaysia, so we can learn from them lah. So the level of readiness will differ from contractors to contractors, client to clients. So there are client yang dah always ready even before we introduce OSHCIM, but also there are also client yang wait and see until the regulation is made mandatory, otherwise they will not comply with the OSHCIM. So the level of readiness ni differ lah, Dr. From one duty holders to, from one client to client, designers to designers, depends on their experience and involvement in previous projects.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Fairuz. Meaning to say that all the stakeholders should support this OSHCIM regulation towards to elevate the safety, safety
Yes.
awareness, safety, to reduce the rate, the accident rate in Malay construction industry. All right. So thank you, Dr. Fairuz. So next question goes to Dr. Kama from Mr. Go. He want to know the next OSHCIM professional competency course, for example. Maybe there are those are interested to join to be a assessor maybe for the OSHCIM professional course. When the next course coming soon?
Okay, actually it's not only UTM. Actually, we have three training provider under DOSH, under accredited by DOSH is UITM, Shah Alam, KLIA training, I think KLIA lah, group, and also UTM lah. I think UTM the soonest I think in May 2013 we have public course lah, I think. For more information, you can contact me lah later on. Okay.
Okay.
But this one,
Alright.
I think is good lah. Actually, kalau I can respond a little bit on the readiness based on our project, pilot project, and also gap analysis is funded by CIDB in 2019, 18, something like that. Yeah. So we have readiness nationwide is 64. Nationwide 64, but recently maybe up to 70 something. So
Okay,
the balance though 74 something like that. The balance though because of the documentation not ready in terms of documentation, not ready in terms of the skill part how to do this DRA. Because another issue is also the applying the general principle of prevention. Okay, so majority is our engineers and architect already done that part, majority, but in terms of record keeping, a systematic approach, is I think if they attend the course, okay, I think we can have a higher readiness at the national level. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Kama. All right. So since we are running off time, so close to 12 o'clock already. So I think last word from Dr. Fairuz, maybe you can have some of the concluding remarks from DOSH, especially on the OSHCIM regulation for our webinar today. From Dr. Fairuz, maybe 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
I think we can't run away from the cost agreement when we introduce any regulation, any mandatory requirement in Malaysia. But then the value of life that we can save by having this OSHCIM can't replace the cost that we will spend on the safety and health. So that's why it is very important for everyone in the construction projects to come on board and support this regulation. Whether it is mandatory or voluntary, it doesn't matter, because if we can save one life, it is better than by having our projects run with lower cost ke high quality ke, because you can't replace this one life. Kalau quality tak betul pun kita boleh betulkan kan, tapi kalau kita lost any life ni, kita tak tak boleh replace. So that's why very important lah we have this OSHCIM, so that at least we can say we are at the national, international ataupun world punya level lah kan in Malaysia. Thank you, Doctor.
Alright. Thank you, Dr. Fairul. All right. So the key things is actually the safety is critical, very important in the construction industry. So we have to give the priority for the safety. All right. Thank you, Dr. Fairul. So the next maybe 1 minute for the Dr. Kamarizan.